Hey guys, welcome back to Whining Blends. Here we are again for episode number 7 with your hosts, Big E, Mr. Hoos.
What's up, guys? How are you? How's everybody doing?
So we're back again. If you see, we're a little different here. We're actually doing it a little different this time for these next 2 episodes. We're not in studio. And we're also
we're in our home studio, bro. We're in our home
studio. Exactly. So we're no headphones, we're taking it easy, doing a kind of a relaxed podcast, so we wanted to kind of change it up for you guys a little bit differently. I hope you guys enjoy it, but we're going to be talking the same old shit like we always do.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. We get to try something different, different looking format. I think it looks very cool. And we could bring more material to you guys too. This way we can do more stuff on the fly if we had to. Schedule wise, it's a little easier to do stuff at home if we need to. But always love the couch and our Whining Blend sign and our brick wall behind us is cool. But nice to have a little different stuff every now and then.
100%, Mr. Hoos. So this week's been kind of a crazy week with a lot of stuff going on. First, I want to bring up the California fires. It's been devastating. Everybody's obviously heard the news, and hopefully everything comes together. Hopefully they can get this under control. There's been a lot of people displaced. Probably about 12,000 homes they're reporting right now that have actually burned completely down. I definitely feel for those people, and hopefully the country comes together and we can all get together to help them rebuild and rebuild fast so everyone can get back into their homes. Obviously first we have to contain these fires and hopefully put them out. I know the winds have been crazy. They actually are calling for high winds again, with the Santa Ana winds that they have coming. It's not helping the firefighters. But sure, even the countries around us have been coming together. Canada, Mexico have been sending everybody in. And we obviously appreciate it, to help out as much as we can in California, plus all the states, obviously sending their men and women over to fight these fires.
It's kind of crazy over there now. I mean, with what's going on, I think we should be hearing from their governor a lot more than we are. I mean, I don't see him being, the guy out there addressing this thing, giving people the confidence that something's happening. You know what I mean? That they're fixing this and getting something done. I get it's not easy. Clearly, I mean, there's some of these fires are probably 7% contained. And the winds are certainly not helping, but at the end of the day, I mean, this guy's like absentee, man. I mean, and he's got to be the 2028 candidate for president, so to speak.
I know. Yeah. Gavin Newsom is not, and he put a comment out there that I saw a report, he was they were interviewing him, and he's like, that Trump should come down to California. I mean, I'm sorry, but Trump's only president starting January 20th. Which is this Monday. You should be calling on your president, that's your president now, to come and help. And, let's bring this to the finish line and help the situation. Trump gave you some ideas years back on what other countries are doing and saving water and stuff to fight these forest fires. And, nothing was done.
Yeah, but what's with these fire hydrants that are empty? Apparently fire hydrants and I don't know if it's true or not. Obviously, what you see and hear on the internet, you got to take with a grain of salt, but it's news. So is it newsworthy? Right. Is it true? Is it not true? But, there's reports that, fire hydrants were just, not in service. So how is that possible? How are there not checks on a regular basis to fix that kind of stuff?
100%. I agree. I mean, especially, you're going to have forest fires. That California is known for that.
Right. There should be an agency that this falls under, Public Works, whatever, that are, checking these things and coordinating with the fire department, obviously, to make sure that access to these things are test them out. I mean, I know, growing up here, we've seen it. They've run the hydrants for a couple hours. You know what I mean? You see it in the streets. Kids used to play in them, run through them.
Right.
What do we just kind of forget now when we're in California? We just kind of, we're not going to pay attention to it. And now, violence that you've had before, this isn't the first.
Right.
It's the biggest so far, but it just seems to be that nothing is what you think would be happening as far as addressing this is not at the level that it needs to be. I mean, that's my opinion.
No, 100%. I mean, 100%. I mean, you're talking about 38,000 acres burned right now. I mean, that's insane. That's a crazy number. Unfortunately, also 25 people at this time that they have confirmed have lost their lives. I mean, you're talking about 12,000 homes. That's how many people. If you average 2 people a home, that's 24,000 people minimum that's displaced right now. They have 84,000 people that have evacuated, and they're calling for another 88,000 to evacuate. So, I mean, you're talking about 170,000 people displaced.
Terrible.
It's crazy. It's terrible. It's crazy. I can't.
And what about this insurance thing? Have you heard the same thing I heard, that there's no fire insurance for these homes?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's talk
That's
that
crazy.
Either the insurance companies just said, "Hey, we're not paying." Like, where do they get off just saying right now, "Well, we're not going to pay"? But you know what? Can I not pay my bill next month? If I just told them I'm not doing it,
it's
not going to be okay. No, but they're going to say they're not going to pay. I don't get it. It all seems to be a big mess.
It is. It's a huge mess. It's crazy. I don't. Hopefully it gets contained, and we get this. I think it's about 17 or 18% contained as of right now. A few minutes ago that I was reading. Hopefully, again, I hope everybody's okay. Everybody tries their best. Everybody gets together. Let's help out each other and try to get these fires done with, and then help California rebuild, their homes and everything. And hopefully, the government and the governor and everybody comes in to help. So
for sure.
Yeah. So on another news, we have our favorite topic, Mr. Hoos, that we got over 12,000 views when we talked about this topic, is, coming out of my mouth again. I think I'm just giving too much clad to them, is The View,
Well, so you're probably helping them out.
Right. So I guess because they need the ratings, and we're hosts that help everybody. We're not,
we're equal opportunity.
We don't discriminate on anybody. Right. So, I mean, you got to, again, they're on the news, because obviously that's the only time I see them, when I'm hearing the news, or I'm watching the news, or I'm scrolling through Fox News or something like that. And it comes out. So, power to Carrie Underwood. She will be singing America the Beautiful for inauguration on Monday for Trump. So power to her.
Amazing.
She was never talked about politics and everything. I don't think she really, my opinion is, just because she's singing for Trump, she's picking a side or another side. Like The View makes it sound like that's what she's doing.
Of course. Well, it's energy for them. It's something to talk about. And the funny thing that I saw was, apparently one of the headlines today was that apparently it's okay with Whoopi. She says that Carrie Underwood is free to support whoever she wants and sing at the inauguration. Thank you, Whoopi. Like, we needed your permission.
Right. But she also did say,
she added that she will not be viewing it. She won't watch it.
Exactly.
She's
like, I have better things to do. And she made some smirk comment, like wash my hair or some stupid shit. I don't even remember exactly what she said. She's like, it's okay for you to do it.
Either anyway. So if you don't care, then don't care.
Right. Or why even comment? Why even comment? I mean, it's ridiculous that they're commenting about this. And then you got this Joy Bear, that she's questioning Carrie Underwood's love for America because she's going to sing at Trump's inauguration.
Because
I promise, guys, I've only had one beer so far.
You can only think one way in this world when it comes.
I know.
You're only allowed to have the thoughts that they're okay with, and that's their values and what they say. But
I know it's crazy. I think it's just a publicity stunt, like you were saying. They probably need ratings or whatever it is. They don't know what else to talk about, because I think everybody almost in that panel was saying, hey, she's open to do whatever she wants. You can't think of her one way or the other. You know what I mean? Let her be who she be. She's a singer. It doesn't mean just because she's going to sing, you know, this is America. We all got to get together. It's not about one side or the other.
Yeah, land of the free, home of the brave, right? That we're supposed to, you know, we're allowed to do what we want as long as we're within the limits of the law. We don't hurt other people or other property. You know, this woman will be singing at the inauguration, and they have a problem with that because they just think no one's going to show up. It's just going to be, you know, the Supreme Court justice swearing in Donald Trump and him, and nobody else is going to really care. You know, well, what are they going to do after he's in office and things are getting put together and progress? And we all know this too. And for those viewers who may not be paying attention, Donald Trump has been working for this country the whole time anyway. You know what I mean? And once he was elected, you know, his people are you know, in place doing what they need to do, especially with this transition team and kind of what's happening. And a big thing that they announced today too, apparently there's a ceasefire in between Israel and Hamas. You know, who gets responsibility for that? Donald Trump does.
Right, 100%.
Because he didn't do it 3 years ago. It's
now all of a sudden that he was, you know, now you did. Well, you know what? Here's cheers, since we couldn't cheer. The cheers to you, Mr. Hoos. So
January 20th. Yeah, wait.
So there was a lot of, and it was actually a lot of people commenting on this, which was interesting. And the reporter said, you know, why wouldn't she sing for Trump when he had 75 million votes? Like, what? Why not? You know, is she going to lose popularity? I don't think so. You know, she'd probably be sitting right there with Kid Rock. You know,
she's a country star. And listen, you know, I certainly believe that, you know, those of the country music and country rock persuasion, so to speak, they lean conservative.
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, that's fantastic. So I would expect someone like her to do this. So, and I think it's great. And like I said, what do they expect? No one to do it? Like no one's available. No one's going to sing. It's not how it's supposed to be. But again, you know, the rules are different. The rules are for 100%. Everybody.
I know. Tell me about it. So I don't know. They just keep talking. Hopefully they don't pop up on my feed anymore. I'm tired of listening to them and hearing their comments and everything because,
once he's president, it's going to end anyway. You're not going to hear from them because it's just going to.
That's true.
What are they going to talk about?
That's true.
Right. He did other great things today. That really sucks. What are we going to talk about tomorrow?
That's hilarious. Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, that's true. Like, what else are they going to do, right? So, anyway, so let's go into another topic that we love talking about, which is football.
Yeah, man.
We had a good football weekend. A lot of blowouts, to my surprising. What do you think, Mr. Hoos? Were you surprised about all these blowouts?
The Rams just destroyed Minnesota.
Oh. Sam Darnold is back to Sam Darnold. Did you watch the game?
Yes, I watched the entire game, and I'm kind of bored with the Rams a little bit. That's just my honest opinion. The defense is great. I mean, they played a great game, and they legitimately just handed Minnesota their ass. And but that doesn't mean. Now here's the old adage where Sam Darnold is, like you said, back to the old Sam Darnold. He's a free agent, I believe, after this year, correct? He can go wherever he wants.
He is a free agent because he signed a 1 year. Yes.
And there was talk, I know we're going to get into it later when we discuss our team. And, because I have some opinions on things that I know you don't agree with. And that's awesome on lineup and things for the future. But, yeah, listen, Minnesota played great. It was throughout the season. They definitely showed up. They just couldn't put it together on Monday night. It is what it is. The rest of the weekend kind of went. I
just want a quick comment on that. So they said he was probably bound to sign a decent contract for someone that needed a quarterback, put it for another 2 or 3 years, sign for a lot of money. But his game against Detroit and his game against the Rams basically took him out of that. I watched both games. He was holding the ball for way too long. He was taking sacks and killing the drives. That's basically what he did when he was with the Jets. So they think that he lost his value in these last two games because against Detroit, he played the same exact way. Like, how do you not? And you played the Rams this year, and they did the same thing to you,
right?
When you played them in the regular season. So how did you not change your game plan? And as a quarterback, why are you holding onto the ball for that long? Because the defense is coming to get you. There was no short passes. It's like they were coming back. He's stepping back all the time, waiting for the long pass, waiting for Jefferson to get open 25 yards down the field instead of doing a dink and dive with the running backs or whatever, tight ends. None of that. Like, no game plan changed. You did the same thing against Detroit. You got killed. So now I don't think minutes. So the funny thing is, somebody said is, well, since they signed Daniel Jones, it was all downhill from there.
Right. I know yeah, that's what I said last.
He didn't do anything.
It's kind of funny.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, right. Daniel Jones is now a Viking, and now they're just going to shit the bed the whole time. Yeah, listen, I don't think his value went down. It did go down a little bit, obviously, because people are just reminiscent of the old Sam Darnold that we knew from from the Jets. Great start in Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, I think once the momentum just was out of their favor, they just couldn't bring it back up, and it's just it looked like just a mess of a team out there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it just didn't go their way, and listen, but this is the time football is the best, because the best of the best are playing. You get the best. I love this, even though our team's not in it. I just love this time of the year because you're watching the best football that you can find.
100%. I love playoff football is the best for me.
Unbelievable.
Just to go quick through a couple of games. I mean, the Ravens looked really good. They looked scary. They killed the Steelers. Even though it was only 28-14, it looked like, the Ravens had the game handled the whole time. The Bills killed the Broncos 31-7. That was a smacking.
The Bills are on fire. I mean,
the Bills are on fire.
Man.
That's going to be a big game. So, go real recap. We talked about the Rams and the Vikings. The good game was the Bucks and the Commanders. Commanders pulled it off at the end. I couldn't believe it. They actually pulled it off. They won a playoff game.
Yeah.
They looked okay. They looked okay.
I think they did. I think there's something there. There's some NFC East strength there that you're seeing that you haven't in a while, and good for them. Listen, they're in our division, but they're you could consider them all rivalries, but listen, I'm happy for them. I wish they still had their old name, but that's a whole other circumstance. But they completely showed up, and some.
That Jaden Daniels looks poised, man. For a rookie, he looks very poised.
He's doing it. The hype of the game, he's sticking with it. He's not choking. He's doing what he's supposed to do, and I'm definitely of the schooling that now these new quarterbacks need to kind of sit and learn and watch. We've seen it in the past minimally. Aaron Rodgers, he sat on the bench for 3 years. You know what I mean? That's how the Packers did it, and look at their, last three quarterbacks were amazing, right or wrong. You know what I mean? So I think that's what's needed, to throw these kids in right from the beginning. And some will work. It would work perfectly with Jay Daniels, but that's not everybody. Bo Nix, it took him a while. In the beginning, he wasn't. He kind of picked it up a little bit. And he's playing football, but it's trial by fire, no doubt.
100%. Look like so. Talking about the Packers, they took a smacking from the Eagles. But Jordan Love didn't look too good.
I wasn't happy about that. For obvious reasons.
Not at all. I thought the Packers would have a better chance or make it a closer game, than they really did. Jordan Love, supposedly he's been hurt pretty much all year, but he's another one that's at 3 years or so behind Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's just how the Packers did it. They did it with Aaron Rodgers.
He had a good year last year. This year he did okay. Obviously they won. They went to the playoffs. I expected better from him in the playoffs, but again, another quarterback
next year. They're going to do much better anyway. I look at that. the makeup of the team is awesome. Yeah, I'm happy for the Packers. I think they got a good solid team going into next year, obviously. But I tell you, the team that I think right now is going all the way is the one that's never been to a Super Bowl before, and that's the Lions. The Lions, they're just on fire, man, on fire. Just,
I know,
amazing. Dan Campbell, I mean, very aggressive, which I love. I mean, I didn't agree last year with some of the decisions he made, you know, as far as, you know, ending the games, but he says that's the way they play, and that's their, you know, their motive and the direction they want to go in, and I get it. And the fever of what's going on is just out of control, and they need this. I mean, they've never been to this level. You know what I mean?
So, Mr. Hoops, hold that thought. What we're going to do in this segment in Whining Blends for the first time ever in the playoffs, we're going to do picks. All right. So I'm going to call the games. You're going to tell me your pick, and then I'll let you know my pick. We could discuss it a little bit. We move on to the picks, and then we could say, who do we think is going to actually take the Super Bowl?
Gotcha.
Sounds good? All right.
Absolutely.
So we got the first game. It's going to be the Chiefs and the Texans. So the Texans came out looking pretty good when they beat the Chargers. They smacked them 32-12. You know, Herbert did have a bad game. He threw 4 interceptions, but the Texans defense looked really good. You know, they played pretty well, and now they face the Chiefs. So now the Chiefs supposedly all healthy. You know, they had their first round bye. They're getting a lot of their receivers back, and you know, a lot of their players back from the offense. So who do you think is going to win out of the Chiefs Texans?
So as much as I want the Texans to win, I would love to see that. And I mean, do they have a shot on any given Sunday, Saturday now in playoff season? Absolutely. I mean, this is the Chiefs' time of the year, though. It always is. And being as healthy as they are now with what's going on and their momentum, and you know, we always joke around about how the guys in the stripes are kind of helping them a little bit here and there. It's strong. The Chiefs are probably going to win this game.
Okay. So I'm going to agree with you. I think now the Chiefs are at full strength. They've been there. They're going for a three-peat. I think they'll beat the Texans. I think it's going to come down to a one-score game again, like the Chiefs have all year. But I think they will pull this one out and beat the Texans this Saturday at 4:30.
Yeah.
The next game we have on Saturday is going to be the Lions-Commanders. So you have the Lions-Commanders. They're going to play at 8 o'clock on Saturday. Who are you picking on there?
100% Lions all the way.
Okay.
They're just going to dominate this game. You know, I think Washington will show up.
Again, I have to agree.
It's going to be the Lions. Lions are going to win.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I agree with you. I think the Commanders pulled out a last-second win against the Bucs, but I think the Lions are going to smack them around. I don't think it's even going to be close.
There's momentum. There's just this team is on fire, man. I'm telling you. They're no one's going to stop.
And they're also had the first round bye, so I know a lot of they were hurting on defense. A lot of their defensive players are going to be back, so they should be, they should be full strength as well. So then the next game, you got the first game on Sunday, is the good old Eagles and the Rams. That's going to be an exciting game. What do you think there, Mr.
Very
Hoops?
exciting. I'm gonna switch up a little bit. As much as I can't stand the Eagles, and I would normally say they could probably win because they have momentum. Obviously, the Rams just looked so good on Monday night. I think there's something there. I'm gonna go with the Rams.
Okay. So I'm going to go opposite with you. Even though I hate to say this and I really don't want them to win, I think the Eagles are going to win. Not because of Jalen Hurts, but they have Barkley. Their offensive line is crazy, so they know how to manage the game. I think that even though the Rams were getting at the quarterback on last weekend, with the when they were facing the Vikings, I think it's going to be a little different against Philadelphia. I think their offensive line is very strong. And I think Jalen Hurts was probably going to be throwing the ball a little bit more. Like I said, unfortunately, my pick is for the Eagles, but I think they'll definitely take out the Rams.
It'll be a great game
to move on to the next round.
Yeah.
All right, here we got another one.
This kind of put it out there. It'd be great.
I'm sorry?
I want to see the Eagles down. I mean, I just want to.
Me too. I do. I do. But for pick's sake, I think the Eagles are going to win. If I was a betting man, I was going to bet on the Eagles. So now we also have probably, to me, the best game of the weekend, which 100%. Is going to be the Ravens and the Bills. So we got the Bills and the Ravens.
This is a pick 'em. I mean, like I said earlier, the Bills are definitely on fire. The Ravens are too. I always said throughout the entire season, the Ravens are one of the best teams in football this year. I've got to go with the Bills. I'd like to see him win. I have nothing against Baltimore. I just think at the end, Josh Allen is going to be Josh Allen. I mean, he's going to pull this out, and I think they're going to come out with a W.
Okay. I'm actually going to go opposite again, and I'm going to go with the Ravens. After this game this weekend, they were tough, man. Their offense was on fire. Their defense was back to the old, I'm not going to say the exact old Ravens defense, but Lamar Jackson was killing it, man. He was, controlling the game. I know they've come short the last couple of years, even though as much as I love the Bills, and in the beginning, I think on a couple of episodes ago, I was probably saying that the Bills were going to go to the Super Bowl. But I'm definitely changing my mind after this game. I saw them against the Steelers, and I think the Ravens are going to win this.
Gotcha.
All right. So now with our picks, let's not skip to the next round. Who's your Super Bowl winner? Who do you think? Who do you think is going to be? Let's say, who do you think is in the matchup at the Super Bowl, and who do you think is going to be the winner?
Well, I'm going to skip right to who I think is going to just blow this out no matter what. And I no doubt, yeah, I mean, it's more likely it's going to be the Chiefs and the Lions. Okay, I'm going to say the Lions. I mean, I became a Lions fan after the Giants were, out of this completely. Once we knew that we were
out of it,
done, and not, what are we even doing? Yeah, I am Lions all the way. I think they're just going to run this thing, and I think it's going to be great. And I think it's what's needed. I don't want to see another Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl. It's at home. You know what I mean? It's just the same shit. But I would I like to see the Lions and someone else, of course. But I'm going to say the Chiefs and the Lions, and the Lions all the way.
Lions all the way. All right. So as you guys know, me and Mr. Who's have agreed on this. I think the Lions are the team to beat this year. I think the Lions are going to be in the Super Bowl. I think the Ravens are going to actually beat the Chiefs, and I think it's going to be a Lions-Ravens Super Bowl. It's going to be a very close game, but I think it's going to be an offensive game, and I think Detroit is going to definitely come up on top, and I'm definitely going to go with the Lions. It's going to be good for America, good for football.
Yes.
Lions have never been there. Obviously, they never won if they've never been there. So I think the Lions.
Those fans, huh?
Yes, those fans got to be excited.
Knowing that your team is, you never even predicted that they could even come close to doing this, and here they are.
And I mean, for Detroit, this is great.
It showed their improvement. I mean, they always showed Dan Campbell's record, since he became the head coach, and it's always at the beginning you're gonna, you're not going to do great. You're rebuilding your team and getting them to know you. You're getting to know them. The only difference that, we see now is the Commanders that had that happen differently, where first year coach goes to the playoffs. But I think Dan Campbell has brought this team where it needs to be. I think he's no doubt coach of the year, I would say. And I think just that they're completely on fire, and they're on the way to go, and it'd be great to see it.
Yeah, and they're getting like we said, they're getting their defensive back, because I think the last 4 games or so, they just had to blow people out because they were getting killed. Their defense, they had a couple players out, and even during the
they played through that too. Don't forget, they played through it like that.
They played through it. Yeah, I was gonna say it was 4 weeks ago. Just the game I was watching, they lost 3 of their starters,
100%.
Defensive backs. They had 3 third-string players on, and they still pulled out the win. So
they're running on the team. The Lions are running completely on adrenaline. That's what they are. They're just
100%. Yeah, everything is behind them. Their coaching is phenomenal. They they want to win it. They want to win it for Detroit. They want to have their first Super Bowl ever, which would be a great story. I think it's all coming together for them. And yeah, I'm with you. February 9th, Bills are taking the Super Bowl. I'll be happy with that. I'm definitely betting on the Bills. I'm putting my bet in right now for them to win the Super Bowl. I don't even know what the odds are. I got to look that up, but I'm putting it in for them to win. I should have done it before the playoffs started, but
right.
I guess I haven't really been a betting man lately. So
there's other Lion news too, just so you know too. So apparently, Aaron Glenn is being touted to go to the Jets as their head coach possibly.
Well, talking about that, so I want to bring that up. So I heard today, I was traveling all over New Jersey, right? Very busy with work. Started at 6:30 this morning, driving everywhere. Got home, 6 o'clock, 6:30 at night. From south where we live to west to north, northeast, northwest, back all over the place. I was listening to WFAN, and I was on the phone a lot, so working and meetings and stuff. So break into WFAN, and when I put it out, I don't even know who was on, or I don't even remember what time it was. They said the Jets have interviewed over 25 coaches.
Wow.
25 coaches. How many people do you have to interview? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, what? I mean, I know there's 2 coaches, I believe, which is Spagnuolo and Glenn, that they have to wait until they're done, right, for them to interview them because they're still in the playoffs.
Correct.
So I understand maybe they want to interview those 2 because I know Spagnuolo, they wanted to interview, and Glenn. But Jesus Christ, how many coaches are you going to interview?
I like that job too, and no one's going to agree with me. Except Joe Murray, because he feels the same way. But Rex Ryan.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
He's excitement. He knows the game. He brings.
I like his shit talking. I love it.
Yeah, he just brings cool shit to the table.
He does. It
makes it exciting. It makes it fun. And I don't think he's a bad coach at all. I mean, he knows the game. It's same old Jets. We've seen it over the years, but
I mean, he was the coach before.
It's going to bring excitement to the Jet fans. There's no question. And
he's been there before. He brought them to the playoffs, right? I think he's been long enough where he can learn from his mistakes. Yeah. But I think he's a no bullshit guy. Like he'll bring. Yeah. They were saying they need to bring the locker room. They have players, right? You just got to bring the locker room together.
You gotta. Yeah. I mean, listen. They got. You just can't describe on how the craziness that was the Jets this year. And as a Giant fan, lifelong, I like the Jets. They're the other home team. That's not always the case. Usually, if you're a Giant fan, you hate the Jets. You're a Yankee fan, you hate the Mets. So I used to love. I mean, we've had a lot of 1:00 games where the Giants Jets both played, but the ultimate Sunday was like Jets or Giants are playing at 1:00, and any other team's playing at 4. I mean, here's your afternoon. Loved it. You know what I mean? Now with Red Zone and other things, you can see every game you want. I'm just saying that, when they're both at 1:00, it's like, I'd like to watch those 2 games. But there's been a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, it definitely appeared to me that Aaron Rodgers was like running the team with everything that was happening with Saleh and then, Ulbrich. And it just seems like Aaron Rodgers was making the decisions here. And I just don't agree with that. I mean, you're the locker room guy. You're the leader on the field. You command them when they're out there on the field. But as far as other decisions running the team, I mean, that's a coach's job. It's not the quarterback's job. And it appeared that Aaron Rodgers was kind of playing that role a little bit. And I like Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I just don't think the chemistry is right there.
I mean, I believe Aaron Rodgers was just put in a spot that he had to take over. Like people, that the reporters are always asking him questions instead of Saleh. They're always going to Aaron Rodgers because he was the loudest in the room. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, right? And I think his persona and him as obviously he's a Hall of Famer and who he is, and Saleh was just Saleh. The reporters were going to him for the answers. What happened? Why didn't you do this? Why did the whole, and they would even ask like what his play was, like the whole team, like why didn't your defense play like this? Where with Rex Ryan, I kind of agree on that, where if Rodgers is still with the Jets, that's not happening. Rex is like, hey, I'm the coach. You ask me those freaking questions and I'll answer them. He's a quarterback.
I don't think it looks good when a team does that, though. Whether, and I'm not debating it. What you're saying is absolutely true. Aaron Rodgers don't can really answer those questions solid, in a solid fashion with what's going on. I just think it makes your coach and your staff look weak. When this guy's got to step up and kind of answer the questions, and it just looks like there's a breakdown, in their house, so to speak, in their front office. So their future, listen, like everybody else, everybody gets a new shot. I definitely feel that, bringing in a new coach and, the other question is going to be, where is Aaron Rodgers going to be next season? Or who's going to be the Jets quarterback?
If in the NFL at all, right? If in the NFL at all.
Now, so we'll see. Big E, we had conversation on this early, really like last week. We kind of discussed it. We know we wanted to talk about it here. Since we've handled what we think we need to as far as what football is going to be about this weekend and up until February 9th, getting back to our team, we know this draft is everybody's, and this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an argument. This is certainly going to be in disagreement. We don't know where it's going to go, but I will tell you, based on the cards that we have dealt to us right now, unless we give up the world, we're not getting a quarterback in this first round. I mean, right now we're number 3, and all indications are that it's going to be Travis Hunter. Plays both sides of the ball, and I'm okay with that. But what do you need when you have that? If you're not picking out a quarterback, you need a bridge quarterback, right? You have to have one. Who's it going to be? I don't want Carson Wentz. I don't want Joe Flacco. I don't want Kirk Cousins. I don't want Russell Wilson. I don't want any of them. I would take Aaron Rodgers for a year as the Giants quarterback with this new draft pick, fill the spots that we need to, the little holes that we have to fill. Let's fill those properly, and let's get it over 500 a year here, if not better. I think it's fucking kidding me? Listen, Aaron Rodgers can't pull the shit that he pulled with the Jets and Giants. There's no way in the world. I know you don't. Are you fucking
kidding here, Mr. Hoos? Yeah. Fucking Aaron Rodgers to the New York Giants?
Why not?
No fucking way. No fucking way. Because we're not a team. We're just not a team to do that. Why Aaron Rodgers? No, fuck Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be 42 years old. He's going to be 42 years old. You're going to bring him to the Giants at 42 years old for a year.
Why not?
Who are we drafting as a quarterback? So when he leaves next year, the following year, who's going to come and replace him? But here we go again. What quarterback are the Giants going to get? What are we going to do? Are we going to suck? We're obviously, let's say we do go 500, then we're obviously not picking in the top 10 of the draft. I don't even know what the quarterbacks are going to be next year.
So who's the next 2 quarterbacks that you think are going to be in the draft? I'll tell you who I think it is. You tell me who you think. After Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I want to tell you I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Second round.
He's definitely going to be a second rounder.
Next 2 years. Not saying you're going to have Aaron Rodgers for 2 years. Listen, it's probably not going to happen, but I don't want Joe Flacco. I don't want Kirk Cousins. I mean, that's just...
Well, talking about Kirk Cousins, I heard there's a rumor that we might be trading for Kirk Cousins.
Of course. Why not?
So I don't like that idea either.
It's terrible.
I don't like the idea of Kirk Cousins either. But I'm going to tell you, I'd probably rather Kirk Cousins for 2 years than Aaron Rodgers for a year.
Aaron Rodgers for 1 year? I just think...
I see where you're going with this, and I understand where you're going with this.
Listen, I know it's not going to happen, but, if I had to pick right now, what's the plan? If they pick up the phone and say, Mike, what's the plan? We want to know. That's going to be my thing, man. Get Travis Hunter.
Right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to ask the Whining Blends fans, who would you go with? Kirk Cousins, which it's really not my pick, but that's what the rumors are right now, or Aaron Rodgers for the Giants while we figure out who our future quarterback will be, because obviously we're in this limbo, right? We're picking third.
Right.
no Sanders, no Ward, which are the top two quarterbacks. And if you fall, you're in third, you definitely got to take Hunter. I mean, this is a game changer for your cornerback and your wide receiver. But you got to get him the freaking ball.
Right.
And you got Malik Neighbors on the other side. So now you got two dangerous wide receivers. Yeah. Actually, you could probably throw in Sam Darnold. It would probably be a good team.
Get a young kid in there to sit the bench for a couple of years. And then,
Mr. Hoos, did you hear me? You could probably bring in Sam Darnold and it would probably be good.
You know, somebody mentioned that today. Somebody actually said that today. What if they signed Sam Darnold? I
don't want Sam Darnold.
And I wouldn't mind him.
It's not my God, you're killing me. You're killing me here. We want our team to win.
I would take Sam Darnold over Kirk Cousins and Joe Flacco.
Oh, no. Well, Joe Flacco's out of the picture.
I would. I know it's weird, but I would.
Would you really?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Whiting Bland fans, let us know. Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, or Sam Darnold. If those are the only three choices we had as Giants fans,
let us know.
Who would you take? And I will create a poll to see who our fans will take, and we will definitely bring up the poll on the next podcast that we bring in. Once we have all the votes together, we'll see who is the winner here, and then ultimately next year we'll find out who will be the Giants quarterback.
Exactly. Aaron Rodgers probably won't even be playing football.
He won't be playing football. To go across town, you're going to go to cross town unless he really loves New York and he wants to stay in New York. And the Jets say, "Hey, you got to move on." And the Giants are like, "Hey, come over here for a year. Let's see what you can do here."
And then he gets hurt open.
We don't have an offensive line. He's 42 years old. He's not going to be running anywhere.
We don't listen. We need to fill the holes, obviously. But if we could do that, I think we got something to work with.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
To be honest, if we have Hunter and Neighbors on each side, we need a guy that could just get him the ball and let them do what they got to do.
Yeah, kind of like Aaron Rodgers. Kind of like Aaron Rodgers.
You know what? On that note, I'm closing this down. I'm tearing this down. I'm closing it. This is an argument that we got to leave up for the fans. We agreed to disagree, but I want to thank again our sponsors. You got Cody Marine, boat shows coming up. We got Mystic Lobster Roll from Key West and Boa Vida Entertainment, guys. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Thank you for the new format. Our next pod is going to be in the same format for episode 8. And then we'll see you in the future. How it goes from there. We'll probably be back in the studio. Again, we are starting to fill up our calendar with some interviews. We'll start getting interviews, some in this format, some in the studio. But we'll let you guys know, be surprised once we start getting our guests in here.
We'll make it exciting. And as always, if you have subjects or topics that you think we should discuss, let's get interactive on it. Let us know. Give us more stuff to argue about. We'd love to do it.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So, all right, everybody, have a great day. Mr. Hoos, peace out.
Peace.